Hey Woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. I want to put a smock on, and that beast behind me is going to help me fire it up, and I am going to turn some wood today. Now it's been 22 plus months since I had my brain tumor removed. I think it's about time that we give this thing a try, see if it works out. If not, hey, it's a way to figure out why I should be sitting on a couch taking it easy. But until then, as management says, all you got to do now is watch. I have wood turning smocks. Real nice ones I had made by a company out in the Midwest. And they were really sweet. I have no idea where they are. No idea. I thought I had them out here last year. But then I'm pretty positive I've got a wood turning, a sled from it's a big thing, a bandsaw for cutting circles. I can't find that either. But then the cleanup crew that came in after I got hurt, or had the tumor removed, to them it probably looked like a piece of plywood. That's all it looked like. So they got rid of it. Did a good job for me, helped things get organized. But there were things that they thought were junk. Really weren't junk. Oh, wait. Emails. I get an email this week. A guy said, what do you use for a sanding sealer? That's it. Get that in the right light. It's made by Deft. It's called Lacquer Sanding Sealer. Now, when you go to Lowe's and Home Depot, they're going to tell you they don't have it. Now, in Lowe's, look over the whole shelf because it's on the product guide. At Home Depot, I don't know what to tell you. But if you go to your local Ace Hardware, and I do believe in supporting the Ace Hardwares, go to your local Ace Hardware and tell him you want a quart of Lacquer Sanding Sealer. He can order it and get it in there. He's got to buy 4, but you got friends. Tell me your friends being to get the rest of them. Or you buy them and you can sell them to your friends. This is the ultimate product. Now, how do I use it? If I'm applying it on a lathe, I cut it 50-50 with lacquer thinner. And that's what you can't do with some of those other sealers. They're not lacquer thinner based. This is made for brushing or spraying bridges and seals interior wood. Easy sanding. It is good. It's done in 30 minutes. Done in 30 minutes. Good product. Deft. Lacquer Sanding Sealer. Now, while we're getting started, I'm going to do a bottle stopper today. To do this bottle stopper, I'm going to go to my box, and finding that took a little while. But I found the box that I had all my Ruth Niles, mandrels, jigs, rigs, and all that in. This is the mandrel I'm going to use today. Now, funny, a guy that I put in business 20 years ago up in St. Louis area makes these for Ruth. Isn't it funny how we get turned around and meet people and coming and going? This is high quality. It's got a 3/8-16 on one end. It's tapped. See this? We're going to talk about that in a little bit more. It's tapped in board for a 1/4-inch drawbar. The drawbar is as important as the Morse taper is. All right? Now, with that same mandrel, I'm going to go to my box here. That same mandrel, Ruth sells this little gizmo that lets you put your piece on and offset it. I made this to do essentially the same thing. And I come out with things like this. Isn't that cool? And a handful of others. Now get it. I just found this box after looking for it for 6 or 8 months. You know where it was? Last place I looked. I love that saying, last place I looked. Of course, I quit looking after I found it. So I have that. Now also, when we get done, we're going to use from Ruth. Come on, you little dragon. Come here. Just stands the up bottle stopper. See the flat part on the bottom? For you guys to do craft shows and all, this can stand on the table to show off your work. No racks, no gizmos, no bottles and all that. Don't have to have it. You can pepper the table out with this and sell more. And oh yeah, you show it only in a wine bottle, you're going to think it's only for a wine bottle. But put an olive oil bottle out there. Or one of the others you got on the counter in the kitchen. It'll work just as nice. Okay, now let's get to what we're doing here. I have a block of wood I got from Ruth Niles. This is it. Yeah, all that hatching and lines and all that's in the piece. She has this put together for her, and that's the pattern. You see it? Now I drilled the 3/8. No, I drilled one size smaller than 3/8, which is, we're going to go to the chart here. 23/64. I had that on a rack. I used it. I drilled that hole. Why is it smaller? Because this has to thread onto this 3/8 16 bolt. Now I'm going to move you over here. Hope you don't get motion sickness on me. If you do, don't let me smell it, because I'll go right with you. Alright. You see that bolt? That one right there. It's sticking out of that mandrel. I'm going to take this and I'm going to thread it on there. Now, if the threads, I got to cut a relief cut in it already to help it help it not get clogged up. I'm going to lock my headstock. I'm going to thread it on there. Now, when I said a drawbar earlier, let me tell you what I meant. This piece of steel in this headstock, horse taper, is being held in by a drawbar that's pulling through the headstock, right through the headstock and into the bottom of that piece. And that's allowing my piece to be snugged up. Now, why do I have that? Well, I'm going to cut most of my cuts this way, but some's going to go this way. Now, the ones that go this way are going to want to work this thing out and get a little vibration. Here's the deal, boys and girls. Vibration is chatter. Chatter is an unwanted dragon. Everything's still sliding around so nice. Bring up my tailstock. Oh boy, yeah, here we go. Hey Lyle, look at this, all the hands are working. My buddy Lyle Jameson of Michigan. So when the hands get to working, are you going to go back to working? Yes! Yes. Now I've got the tailstock up. I've got it in the mandrel. I'm going to move you again, so you can see a little bit about what's going on. I got a pretty flexible arrangement here. Now how's that? You got a good seat? Okay. Now I'm going to set this a little bit high. Bring it in. I'm going to spin it by hand. Two reasons for me spinning it by hand. Number one, is what I like to do. Number two, I made sure I unlock that headstock. Because if you don't, you hit the belt, you put a flat spot in your belt, or you burn it, or, well, it's not a happy time. Look at that. I'm at about 1,000 RPMs. Now, this is running fairly true. No, it's not. I'm going to have to undercut that bottom just a little bit to get it fit down on the cork, on flat. But it's running smooth enough to where I can bring the pressure up. Bring the pressure a little bit here. Alright, now I've got the tailstock tightened up. This is the first time in 22 months I've done this. And I still got it. Now, you know, I haven't really been honest with you, because right now I would have done this. What you might be hearing is, I just crank it Z up. That's what Opie used to say. Crank it Z up. Why? I'm going to get smoother, better cut. Look at the colors in there. Okay? It's round. We did that with the roughing gouge. We touched up the roughing gouge on the Black Hawk. One button in the lathe isn't working. But the off button over there does work. Might be some trash in it. I'll open it up and see. 3/8 inch shells worth. Now, I don't want this bottom to get smaller than that right there. And that is the same size as that mandrel. So I do have a guide on here that when you get down real close to that mandrel, I'm where I want to be. I want to get there before sanding. That's it. That's where I want it to be. Now what I want to do on the top here, I'm going to go in here. Now, how do I make that cut? You see that gouge? You see that bevel? I'm rubbing that bevel. I won't go in here while open, wide blade. I want to roll it over, get the bevel, ride the bevel in. Why? I won't tear the wood. Without the bevel just juking it in there, and juking is a term, you will mess it up. Now you're probably saying, what shape does he want and how can he decide? Well, if you go to Ruth Niles Bottle Stopper's website, there's a gallery. She's got gorgeous works of art in that gallery from Turner, just like me and you. Now this has been sitting out in the weather for a while. It's starting to break up a little bit. This is the beauty in bottle stoppers. If it isn't going like you want it, go where it wants to. Now, I'm down to where I want to. All this is pretty smooth. This is smooth. I want to get rid of that end. Do I need to sand before then? I believe so. Crank the power way down. So I do some honest to goodness sanding. See the sawdust coming off? Now why isn't that coming up to me? Because directly above me I have a 6-inch clamp-on fan from Home Depot. Now in that fan, it's designed and installed to blow the dust away. You see the dust coming over the top and heads back down? It's not going in my nose. Okay? We all together on this? Good. Now I'm going to take and finish this out, but to get this finished out, I'm going to move away my tailstock a little bit. You see, I'm taking my time and explaining things. Once you get the knack, if you... What in the heck am I doing here? There we are. Once you get the knack and the technique down, you can do this rather quickly. Let's see what we have here. I have a skew. That'll work. Pick the speed back up. Skew's got a pretty good edge on it. Now, I'm going to stop it so you can see this. There's a hole right there. I don't want that hole or the tear up or the compression to show. So in order to get around that, I'm going to have to remove some materials. I only stopped it to show you what I was going to remove. You can play with shape, you can play with design, you can get your wire tool out and put some wire marks on it, like some burns and marks or whatever, and I was looking to see if I still had my piece of plexiglass up here, not plexiglass, laminate, that I could burn it in there because laminate works good for burning versus you can lay it over. Bring the speed way back down again. In fact, I really think you want to look at it. I felt a little chatter. And there is. I got to clean up that little edge right here because some of it broke off. Oh, wait. I'd like to do a tip with you and show you how to keep it from breaking off. But doing a little survey, I found that most of my super glue has went unsuper. So I got some coming from CA, from Starbond, and when I get it, then I'll show you how to tighten this stuff up. Back down on the speed again. Again, pay attention to where the sawdust is going. You don't want this in your nose. You don't want it in your mouth. And before you ask me, where is it? See it? That's the fan I'm talking about. We have all this down and polished out. Now, I'm out of lacquer thinner. At least the jar is empty and hollow, and that might mean it's empty and hollow. So I really can't put a good finish on it with all the right chemicals. The right chemicals would be one coat of one coat of sealer, and then buff it out a little bit, and then hit it with the super glue. I don't have that either. I'm just looking to see. I told you that earlier. So let me hit the stop button. You have it. Now, when the thing's cleaned up, I'd put a burn or two right down here. Oop, a burn or two right down here. And then make sure this sweeps up really nice. And there wouldn't be a way that my Uncle Boudreaux wouldn't get into that. Really, he'd love it. And that laminated wood. Now, that laminated wood, there's a product name for that, and Ruth Niles has it. Now, I don't know if she still has this, but if she has it, you want to get it from her. So I thought I'd be back to turning a year ago. And I asked some friends to send me stuff. Ron sent me decking from an aircraft carrier. You know, when the aircraft carrier gets in, I'm going to use that decking up. I had a couple other turners drop off pieces. Got a gorgeous piece of mahogany sitting outside the shop right now. It's probably going to go visit the upstairs just to get out of the way and get safe. But I thought I'd be turning a year ago, and it didn't work out. So I didn't bring in materials because some materials are still looking good. I'm going to bring in some new materials. And since we got the air conditioning and the fan and the outside fan all working, when it's 108 degrees outside with heat index, I can still work. I can. And I will. So that's what's happening right now. Told you about the deft. Told you about the piece. If you need to get a hold of Ruth Niles, this is where you find Ruth. Trying to think of anything else we might have missed. Oh, man, I'm going to get beat up when I go inside. Management won't even come out in this heat. She's in there packing orders, but she's complaining her butt off because she doesn't have enough orders to pack. So, go at the end of this is my email, website, telephone number, and all that. Call up and buy some cutters. We'll get them out to you. And look, wow, it is impounding, and it doesn't feel like I have a ball glove on, so I could probably use it again. And I was supposed to be making Black Hawk rigs with all the improvements in the air and all. Might be able to get to that in the next couple of days. But until then, all I got to say is July 2nd, 2016, I went back to the lathe, and I went back to making shavings. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You be good. Come back soon. What did it do to the on-off button?